who are obviously in this match because they lost to OG, but no shame losing to OG.
Okay, it's time. Round 1, map 1, Big and Navi. And of course, we've got Navi to the T side. Were you blown away by Sumdai Young's performance yesterday? Did you expect more or less, or what's your gauge on him so far?
It was above expectations. I think on Ancient he wasn't good, but he's actually usually not, so that's one thing. But he doesn't have it in this veto. Big Bandit.
Big Bandit. Ooh. All right, that's simple to get it over the top of Sumdai Young. Ooh, they don't check the corner. Searson, clinical execution of the two. Simple gonna continue to start hot so far in this pistol, and that's something that Simple wasn't able to do yesterday. On none of the 3 maps did he have one of those, you know, lightning quick kickoffs. Instead, he had to claw it back in each of the second halves and never really did on map 3. Here he is in a clutch. 2 kills into the round already. Oh, there's number 3. Crimbo just gets owned. Tizian comes off that plant. Simple has to go out.
Okay.
Okay, Simple's back.
The monster has taken form.
Simple has returned.
Yeah, he was worse than Tizian yesterday in this tournament overall. Like, that's not to shine a light on the discrepancy. We're talking about a 0.98 over the course of the event so far. So this is already a good start to the next day. I think it kind of feels like, I mean, there was a point in time, like even a couple months ago, where, you know, considering the situation, it was obviously been very tough. And, Simple wasn't playing a lot of CS in general. And still played well. Like, he's still #1 player in the world, right? But at a certain point, that'll catch up to you, of course. You don't keep practicing. You don't keep going. And, yeah. So, kind of found himself in that situation once again. Except it kind of felt like this is going to be a bad tournament for him. But with him, you just kind of have to watch and see. You can't really call it.
Down to half health here in the attempt to convert. Searson's blue spruce, always a threat in these kinds of rounds. Now covered in Searson stickers, finally. Utility for the CT side. Down to a single flash. Look at that little bit of a peek coming around the side. He doesn't see him because he's tucked in so nicely. That is...
Yeah, he's looking for that radio. Man, he's completely out of view.
Perfect.
Oh, nice shot.
Should have stayed out of view, because the moment he puts his head into Tabson's crosshair, it gets rocked. 3 players here for Navi. Nobody dead yet on the side of Big. Good damage versus Crimbo. They've got a player, though, boosted up inside the site. The Cap player draws attention. Favin has still done nothing. Element of surprise, drops the bomb, and now Simple is here in a 1 versus 4 turned 1v2. He's got a little bit of space, and he's going to go ahead and get that plant in quick.
Quite a lot, honestly. There's no one on a big flank just yet. I mean, he's about to turn the corner now, but Simple can get to where he wants to play from.
Bench.
And these were the 2 top performers yesterday from Big Clan, Tizian and Tabson.
That they were. Now they're trying to slice through what's left of Simple. 57 health, a missed Deagle shot. He's still just going to play into the cover, trying to figure out where the hell that came from. Nobody's showing skin until Tizian gets sliced down, and Tabson, with the lower amounts of health, ooh, he hits Simple ever so slightly. Where has he gone off to? Oh, Tabson gets the headshot, but they don't get the round. They just rack up the costs against Navi. Simple hangs on for that second to the T-side start.
A 1v4. A 4K on the pistol and a 1v4 in the next round. It's a new day, my boy. God damn.
Grueling T-sides yesterday for Big. I hope for their sake that they've recovered.
It was such a weird game because, I mean, it was both Big and ends at the same time where they had uncharacteristic T-side performances. And there was also this weird thing where it wasn't like they were playing slow and without confidence. They're playing extremely fast. They were just losing really, really fast. But their CT sides were extraordinary. But that is where they got the breadth of their rounds in that last series. So Big have a quota to meet here on Mirage. And Simple is getting in the way of that already. 2 rounds that Big had advantages in that have been taken away from him.
Oh. Pretty quick to progress into the cat hit. Bomb's still back in apps. We'll see if Simple can tear off any limbs before they beat them in the B site. Oh my god.
Well,
Is it going to be one of those days? Oh, nope, Tizian. Tizian, of everyone.
He's still farming.
So crazy that he, did what he did yesterday. When they swapped sides on Mirage.
Oh, people were upset at me because I pointed out that Tizian had like a good game when he's had like a few bad tournaments. And that's to shine a light on that. That's important. There are a few players in the scene that are on teams that have all the other pieces they need, but they just need to raise their floor a little bit, and the team will win more. And Tizian is one of those guys. Positionally, it's fun. We just saw Lexi B, for example. He's the perfect example of this.
Yep.
He gets a few important trades. He plays with confidence.
Map wins come.
And that's it. He's got the teammates to win the map. Oh, Jesus.
That's nasty. SDY. Felt like this was going to be another one of those rocky moments where maybe Big are able to throw a spanner in the works. Tizian still could, but they lost the numbers advantage. It's down to just him in the 1v3. Even after that damning first half versus Ents, they switched to CT side themselves. Tizian looked like he had a smile on his face from the get-go, as if he sensed what he was going to get his team into, and they couldn't pull off that comeback in its entirety. He won't be able to do anything here at the end of the third. It is Navi with 3 straight to start, and finally one with a bit more comfort.
So to contextualize the SDY debut, for those who didn't see it, on Mirage it was his best game, and I think the most standout part was his CT side when he was anchoring the A site, where he swapped 1-for-1 for Boomage. And on T side, things were pretty discombobulated for Navi, so they've had some time to talk about it, but he also has been going forward with the entries. Pim pointed out he'll be the guy jumping out halls with a MAC-10. He'll be kind of trying to find the opening duel a lot of the time, and he was doing fine from that perspective. And again, top performer on the map. Over on Inferno, he still went positive. He went like 12-9, and they won the map, and that was because he was playing Pit, and the OG were just going B every single round. So he just didn't get much action, but did his job. When it went his way, he was a solid anchor. So honestly, those 2 maps are solid. Ancient was something like 14 and 22. Looking at his maps individually, all the maps in the pool, Ancient is probably the worst, even though he's played it quite a bit. So that's something they have to work on. But again, it's not in this series. So that it might even be better for him. Now we'll get to see about Overpass potentially if it goes to a map 3. But really, so far so good for SDY. I don't think you could have asked for more from a first game.
Especially after we waited as long as we did to see him in a Navi jersey. Calls for it once upon a time. Stock fell off, and now he's made his return. He's an academic, a scholar, university educated.
1-2 lands before he had memory. A polymath, a genius, an astronaut, a father? I don't know.
And oh no, that could have been Tizian's opening kill. Fire won't spread to him, so he's fine. Bit down under. That could have been Simple dead. It could have been Tizian killed.
Did Simple take... I thought Simple took Device's haircut, right? Like, final moments of Device, playing with Nip. He had that middle part. It's like the Danish middle part.
Yep.
But then it's SDY,
It's
who
also
also has SDY as the middle part.
Yep.
Maybe there's some love there. We saw the Inferno 2v4 between him and Simple. That was the highlight, I think.
Just sitting next to each other. It's a new era.
They can see everything. I mean, they parted their hair.
Get it out of your eyes.
G2 tweeted out Monacy's view.
That was hilarious.
That was very funny.
You don't need to see them when you can just sense them.
This is an interesting spot. I mean, we see mid is completely evacuated, so there's room for actually this lurk to come in from Electronic. Pressure on the site hold, but they have 3. My God, Searson, ice cold.
Oh, Bit stomps Faven down out of the round. Oh, Bit gets a second kill, Perfecto killing Crimbo. That B site just got evaporated. Now, there is a pretty fast flank from Tizian, but the bomb's also planted, and there's so many players on this site from Navi that they have nothing else to do other than consider every single option. So
that was a weird round.
Yeah, kills are clean, man.
That was a weird round, right? Not much mid presence from either side. Nope, not much movement from the CT side. A good guess that it would end B, but 0 utility drop versus that execute, right? Because they had no one at Van jump spotting. They had no early information. They, again, had no eyes on mid, so they couldn't confirm it was going to be B. And so it's a very, honestly, even though there's 3 CTs there, because they're playing with such low information, yeah, here's the double mid part. It's perfect.
There's no way
because they're playing with so little information, even if you have 3 players there, they're all eating the flashes, and they're confused about when the site hit's going to come in. We don't have any smokes getting dropped to slow them down. Searson got full blind. There was just no early warning.
And then Simple continues to do what he has been, and that's shooting very straight today. I didn't like watching Simple struggle to start strong across 3 maps in yesterday's series.
I mean, we don't want to watch the, great players of our game have bad events. I mean, you guys, you can cheer against them, but if you're cheering for CS, you kind of want some stories to continue to deliver. And I mean, you can both have him play well and the team still lose and whatever. But as long as everything's in order and it's like close, good matches, that's kind of what you're cheering for. And it's like, yeah, I mean,
it's just an odd feeling.
It was odd, and it was clearly not just like an unlucky game. There were a lot of moments where Simple, he put himself out there in rounds where it's like, oh, should he have taken that risk? And then they lose after that. And just at face value, the kill differential wasn't looking good. But I mean, today, I don't know, man.
I feel like if he could rinse and repeat every single one of those situations today, he's now going to win, 80% more of the ones than he did yesterday. He's still going to throw himself into these tough spots. And we didn't see him lose his identity. We just saw him lose his sharpness. So that can be recovered day to day. No problem, no doubts. And a prime example of it so far here, 4 rounds deep into Mirage. We get the window cross back, hoping that maybe they could shave one off mid, but Navi going to take their time with this one. Bomb now in tow. 4 players middle, 1 in SDY, just kind of doing his own thing towards the apartments, and the CT stack not near it.
There's always a fear that the round ends B when you have pistols and they know it. And it does feel like that's going to happen again. But big, I mean, no reason not to commit to the stack in case there is a full exec and Navi overthink it. But today, they've made the right choice. So there will be no blood lost, it looks like, as this bomb gets planted. Everyone sneaks into their positions. Connector fully open. Simple op up. If big CT round that last round was a little strange, and when we compare it to yesterday, they were playing with spots where they were very comfortable in aggressive positions, a lot of activity around the whole map, good amount of mid control. We didn't really see any of that, so I think they don't want to change that, because that was the part of the formula that worked, right? It was only the T side that let them down. And actually, it was Navi's T side on Mirage where it was the most questionable. It felt like a few different roles changed at once, where there was a new lurker, SDY had to take up Boomich position, and they swapped Electronic Bit and Boomich in 3 spots. So I guess after some late night deep talks, they may have figured something out.
So they are on fire as fast as they can be. What are we watching? Whew. Fast and easy. Down goes Tizian.
There's that catch-22. When you have like the one gun, you want to use it aggressively, but then if it ends up getting dropped, you can't pick it up again. But not a bad idea to try to get the space back if they can. So let's see if this round's a little different here from Big. And it looks like they will be a little bit more active around mid. Searson dropping out into underpass, dropping the smoke down and one way into the top. Obviously, what's very good for Navi is to take mid late. If they read the situation correctly. The smoke is ephemeral after all, and Searson will have to reposition. So late into underpass, they deny anyone's here. They could still be tucked, but it would be unlikely. They're going incredibly slow right now, but this is a round where Tizian hasn't pushed halls like he did last round. He got caught out. So they might feel like they can actually just ditch the A lurker this time around. Run boost out to mid. And here's that late approach.
Bit lucky to still be standing. Molly on Favin. That's the window evacuated. We get the quick move from Searson over towards Market.
No one is watching Electronic cross cat at the moment. Let's see if he has any problems with the timing on the window smoke. That's the one place he could get caught. Looks like no. B-split coming in. One player less. Same amount of information.
Yep. Shouldn't go any better, but Searson at least kicks it off with the kill towards Cat. Ooh. And then finds SDY up close. This three-man cohort, a little bit slower to get downwards, and this is rock solid. Big 5 kills, no deaths, just perfect.
That's beautiful from Searson. That sequence right there was solid. They did rely on their 2 players in there to get all those kills, but they shut that down. So and it was Electronic the first as a lurker, yeah.
Thought he'd be kind of left to his own thing. Thought Searson would have to deal with them coming out from apps, but instead he just shaves off the first one. Nice and easy, follows through with the rest. Keto getting a chance to talk. Second timeout already for Big, right off of the back of their first round win.
Yeah, that was super solid. I mean, they had Searson start empty pillar last time and watch the halls, and he got blind, so he tried something new. It works. He's waiting for the second kill on this angle. It looks like such a gamble, but for people who don't know, I guess, when you're jumping out of halls, you're trying to clear the site running that specific way. So now the CTs can just sit there and wait. Of course, in a regular game or whatever, where people aren't trying as hard, you might be worried about someone jumping van and trying to kill you, but it's just not always the natural point of pathing. So it's really cerebral moment there for Searson. Pick up a first round. They do it pretty damn cleanly, man. They rebuy into utility. They've got a little bit left in the bank. And Searson was owning as well, actually, yesterday.
Yep. Electronic recovers. Almost got caught out running down bottom mid, but that's Tapson splattered on the side of Underground.
This is also Searson's chauffeur. And yeah.
Favin pulls up maybe to save him instead. Oh, Favin, both. The smoke fades, so it looks like maybe Bit's kill, it says through smoke, may have been a little bit more vision than you'd expect. It's Searson combat hopping into SDY. We got a 4v2 here from Big. And what kind of an answer can Perfecto piece together? Favin was in window when he got his 2 kills, floating around jungle to stop this. Simple. Back towards mid. Scoped in. He's got a minute to wait. And again, Searson's shown himself towards Underground, so there was a chance for him to just catch that kill. But Searson, sharp as ever. Perfecto gets spotted, swept away, and we've got Big with a nice and easy second round that looked like it could have gotten sketchy. Tapson dying first, bottom mid. Favin, 2 kills after that smoke starts to fade out.
No, that was huge. I mean, they tried to adjust a little bit because Searson sat in mid, but there was a late mid, so it was kind of pointless for him to be there that last round. And then they double up with the rifler, but the rifler supports the op, and they remove the bodyguard. But the thing is, they didn't know about Searson that whole time, so they thought maybe it was just a rifle making that play. They didn't see Searson do it last time, and Favin covers him completely, takes all the attention away.
I think you can tell by SDY's, reaction just how surprised he is that somebody was able to come through Underground. Searson had to have been locked in there from the start. Oh, that's a freebie. Electronic just a little too wide. The hips don't lie. Searson shatters them. Takes up his roost. And awaits for Simple to peek.
That's a great position for Searson to be in, especially with the activity at the bottom of mid. They are coming towards him. I feel like soft angle is going to work. Yeah, that's a nice game so far from Searson for sure.
Which is what you want.
Oh, the blind trade.
Crimbo gives it up just as Bit was about to walk around that corner.
Yeah, because Simple could have peeked him from the top of mid, so real perfect timing.
A little self.
Oh, the timing is so tight.
Oh, can't get a second, though. Tizian from inside sight. He's got Simple to worry about it in a second. That's him clotheslined. Favin on the op. Crimbo's AK. Connector smoked, and Crimbo gotta be a bit cautious about it. So that's going to give the timing to Simple as he just sulks back into his post plant on ramp. Perfecto forever in the palace. CTs, a ton of utility. I mean, they could smoke both of these held positions. But they'll keep one for bomb. Perfecto wishing he had some kind of way to pry through, but it's going to have to be a risk at some point. Simple, he can just end it as he does. He takes damage, though, in the process of that. Crimbo jumps on top of the bomb, and Simple just shoots him straight through it.
Oh, we're getting straight impact out of Simple. Honestly, Searson and Big as a whole, great position there. Searson gets the first and second kill. Obviously, as he pushes to the top boxes, earns his place. And Electronic unaware of how much he's exposed on the angle, so it's an easy kill for him. But in this spot, it's a lucky shot from Simple. I mean, he shoots as soon as he gets flashed, right? That's Searson doing what you're supposed to do. It's flash before you go for the second kill. But because Simple gets that, it actually loosens up the setup so that Bit can walk out of underpass. He creates that timing. They get in connector too fast. Oh, and they start out by killing the Opper in the next round.
Yeah, they just take that risk, swing wide. Looking for revenge. Sumdai Young, 2 rounds back-to-back. He dies to Searson. So that'll feel better. His 4th kill of the map. Crimbo, not too far behind the player who just spams the smoke. Favin as well. Hoping that that would have faded out so that he could get his impact in, but met by another smoke. He tries to give up the position, and Sumdai Young just senses him.
Said, you're not doing that again.
I don't think so. Ooh, good round from SDY. Still a little bit of a question mark here with the Crimbo position up in apartments. It's going to have to be a multi-kill from him.
Wow, what an angle.
Yeah, this could be sick. Right, this could just take back everything Sumdai Young's done with those first 2 kills. They peek right in. Oh, but he can't quite finish the one in the back. That's SDY with 3 kills so far, doing everything he has to. Setting up Electronic as the eventual walk back through jungle costs Tabson, and Tizian will not be given any chance to get his impact and support Searson's attempt to top frag for Big. It is still 2 and a 7th for Navi. So let's check this out. Catching the Opera on cross.
Yeah, like the intention here, but this is Navi taking a risk, right? Flying out middle in this spot, and wow. I mean, they have had someone lurking in the left side of the window, behind the smoke, waiting for it to come out a couple of times. So cerebral moment there for Sumdai Young. And Searson jumping cat. I mean, if he has the time to get there, if they're smoking top mid, and if they go for regular mid control, it's any slower, then it's fine. But that was the perfect answer to that gamble. And you can't put it to more than a gamble, because you can't know what someone's going to start out with. Searson has to play off a spawn in that situation, but it's the right one. And then from there, I mean, it's so well handled in terms of where we go from the 5v4. So Navi put themselves in super good spots. This is night and day compared to their T side yesterday. Pretty impressive considering how much has changed for them.
Searson and Tabson back towards middle. Kind of await Tabson's impact. Yesterday, it was very much Tizian on Mirage specifically. We got the, Tabson, Searson impact later on in the series.
Yeah, him on A was crazy. You couldn't get a ramp or Palace. He was playing like he was 2 people.
Man, you could barely get past Catwalk without him getting a kill or 2.
True.
It's like long range every single time. You write off Tizzy and you pay the price. But we get no commitment down into the underground from the counter terrace. They fall back through connector instead. We get Electronic to cross over towards top mid boxes. Simple doubles bomb back.
Man.
Then hesitates for a second. He's going to come back over, try to join with Bit. So we're looking at 3 Ts still in mid as bomb gets passed to Electronic.
Oh, they're just being annoying with Bit. He's taking fast steps in underpass. They don't have eyes here. They want it so bad. And Bit trying to score this upper B push, see if there's any kind of push. They've got the extremities of the maps locked down with this Palace play. And I think all Navi are doing right now is just seeing, if they do something aggressive, we're all in the good spots, but almost never, besides the mid control in the beginning, are Big willing to go out.
The 25-second mark, and the hit's about to commence. Looks like Tizian's finally going to get a good test inside his sight. Sumdai Young Chucking out the connector smoke so that Cat doesn't need to be worried about. Tizian comes in, big 2 kills, tries to wiggle his way out. Tabson offers us 1 frag, but it's Sundai Young looking to just end it all. He pushes Simple into the clutch, but not enough time for anything to happen here. So they play against the clock, and then because Tizian does as much as he does, as quickly as he does, killing those 2 players as they tried to push back bench, it is Tizian with impact. And when Tizian gets impact, big get rounds.
I mean, he perfectly counters the under Balk Molly, so they're not aware of it. They're clearing other positions. They're maybe thinking about the ramp, Apex, Sandwich, these kinds of things. And then Tizian, not only does he get his 1 kill, but he gets his 2nd. And that's the spot that if you're coming out of connector, you're trying to kill the under Balk guy, right? You have a nice fight in that position, so he does more than enough. And that's a low guns buy for Big Clan as well. So again, good to see the 2 standout players contributing when they need it the most.
And without Tapson being caught early bottom mid, we get a chance for him to show us on A side as well, right? Holds back ticket, nice and passive, just not forcing himself to be stuck next to Tizian. He's nice and deep, holding on to sight. That's where the time also helps out big.
Yeah, and it's really cool that Keto's been talking in all the attacks.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to ask, we get a lot. I think we get a lot of vocal moments out of Crimbo as well.
Yeah.
So now we've got like
he was an IGL on the academy team. So it's nice because you're saying, I guess, because he's a rookie, right? Like you wouldn't feel as
younger
comfortable.
Player. You know, it's just a skill set that he seems to have. And obviously, in the ideal situation, we've got Gob B feeding Tabson info during tack pauses, but it's just cool to see Tabson really be that next level talking.
Man, they're up connector and in window already.
This one wastes no time. So last time it was 25 seconds before they even tried to test this A site. Now it's 1:25, and they've already gotten 2 kills. The answer from Big, push through apartments. Favin just hiding over towards Ticket. Fire lands on top of him. He has to move, gets obliterated by Perfecto, and this one couldn't have been any better for Navi.
In terms of map control and positioning, Navi are playing a 10-on-10 game. Like the 2 rounds that Big won were the rifles on those. Super solid holds, but they probably had individuals that got more than they were supposed to, considering the map space that they had, right? You know, Tizian doing that from under Balk, the site hold from Searson on B when they only had 2 there. Navi are checking the boxes when it comes to what they need before they can feel comfortable executing, and they're not losing players while they're defaulting. So those are the 2 most important tenets of the T side, right? Try to get that map control and don't die. And that's why they're winning the majority of the rounds, the vast majority. And this round is no exception, man. They also have a tempo change where they decide, okay, we've conditioned them enough inside of mid. Maybe they won't play aggressive for once. Let's go fast. And they do it. Not only, again, getting connector, but getting up into window by 1:37.
Yeah, Searson just on full display for Electronic. Both headshots, both nice and clean. They're going to do the exact same thing. So just a nice, strong round from all of the members of Navi.
They're all kind of webbed together, too, in all these different choke points. The spacing's been solid.
Yeah, like toes. Simple catching Tabson on the jump down. Oh, man.
They messed the boost up, so Searson wasn't aware of that.
Caught sleeping. Simple dodges the... Oh, yo, nice. I mean, that is something that I feel like would have missed every time yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, it just would have missed yesterday, and that was the sad reality. Simple just missed that sharpness, but now here he is, folks.
Wow.
4 kills. He's 17-4 so far this half.
That's nuts, man. I mean, he always plays well versus Big. It's like his favorite team to play against, but after yesterday, you think, man, it wouldn't matter. This is the day that Big could show him something different, and he's just playing exceptionally well. I mean, this is even better than his average, it feels like, for a half. So what a shot that was on Crimbo. This is another round with pistols again, so you don't get as, you know, mad about things not working in the setup, but they try to go for the underpass boost, and that's what gets Searson killed on the A site. He's expecting connector to be free for that second, and he doesn't have to worry about it. Uh-oh.
Tabson fully blind for a second. Electronics already tucked in. Bit slowly coming in from underground, and ooh, yeah, he's right there, buddy. Oh, Tabson almost misses out on that chance.
Oh.
He's staring into the sun that was Electronic. There's a little bit of an opening here. If Sundai Young can get a rapid frag, then maybe they follow through with a little bit of momentum into the B hit. There's only 2 CTs here, one backed by Market, exiting into sight, and the other one deep on Cat. So deep, in fact, that Sumdai Young does get a chance to just simply run out. Finds Crimbo, despite being low health. Simple still in apartments on a quarter HP. Comes through with the second, and the bomb plants also Simple's. Tabson, oh, he sees them falling away, but this is a third kill that comes out from Navi. A 3 versus 5, and the last two CTs have to go for a save. They could not buy a round right now.
That's crazy. They even lose both players in middle too. That was the most important part for Big. And as we can see, they kill 3 players fighting, right? 2 on the catwalk, 1 in the site. And they nearly set up Electronic on the perfect timing. But after this, you think, okay, it's too strong of a start. But it isn't the case. A beautiful trade from Simple. Another opening kill for SDY. Another entry. Cool mouse.
See, like that moment, for example, right? I feel like every time Tabson's really getting vocal, it's with Crimbo. Like, and you know, contrast that to Searson, for example, where Tabson could be just, you know, speaking to Searson as much, but not getting any kind of energy bouncing back. You know, there's nobody for him to just kind of pass the ball back and forth with. But Crimbo's always there, always seems to have a little input, or whether he's just asking follow-up questions, like communication just a little more lively with Crimbo around, and it's a cool component of Big. Favin pushes deep through the underground and gets caught by Bit.
Jeez.
Just as he wanted to turn his attention back towards it. It's a clean headshot out of Bit, as we've come to expect every time. Honestly, a dominating T-side at this point, shooting for 12, best case. Searson locked into the underground, 2 players ahead of him, nobody around to support.
Yeah, it really comes down to how close the next player is. Oh, Bit's being so careful about this. Oh, he gets away with his health too. Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Nothing going well here. That's the second time the rifle to support dies. First for Searson in the underpass push. Wow, these peaks are so insanely tight, man.
We get something out of Tizian.
Yeah, that's nice.
Therefore, something for Big. Good spot from Crimbo. Could
yeah.
definitely catch Electronic off, sure enough. And Tizian has seemingly gotten himself a little more impact. So 20 seconds, man advantage Big, health advantage over Bit. That's going to unleash Simple ever so slightly.
Oh, no.
Taps into the head of Crimbo. Bomb being committed to. Here comes Tizian, and he wins a round. You go to A site, you give Tizian chances, and it seems as though Big get a little bit more. That's at least 2 rounds that Tizian himself simply wins. One from under Palace, and this one now, just catching him on the exec.
100%. I mean, look at... First of all, how scared would you be? I mean, Tizian's tried to push into Palace a couple of times. They've been really good at catching him, but he keeps the confidence high. And the other thing is that when he comes back, you know you're going to get mollied from the A-ramp players, but you have a timing where you can peek as they're mollying you. So he knows he has to take that fight early. He does it, then he gets out, and he remains this pest, right? The fly in the room that they just cannot swat. And not only that, but he runs through the fly swatter, the molly itself from the T side later on, and finds the final 2. So another fantastic Mirage performance from Tizian.
Wow. Perfecto, a little charred from that one, but tries to just creep out silently. Misses timing on Tizian by a few seconds, but Tizian could still just offer the kill, and he will. Thought the Stairs player had that held, but Perfecto wasted no time sliding outwards. Top mid peak from Tabson. Denied this time by SDY. Crimbo will finally catch that kill in underground. Seemed like normally he had fallen off of that spot.
Ooh, 2 answers back.
Simple just kind of doing his own thing over towards the B site. That's number 2. So low health Electronic. A dented Perfecto.
Do they know where Searson is?
No, he hasn't done much this round.
Utility is all on SDY coming through the Palace. So this could leave Searson open to be able to frag. He has a chance. Late round situation. He's trying to update information as much as possible. I think maybe now has the idea that they could be out.
Definitely saw the gun. What?
Oh.
He saw a barrel sticking out Palace. Didn't scope in fast enough for the peek. Good damage from Crimbo, but man advantage still up here for Navi. Favin gonna have to come through with the 1v2 to close the half. Peeks while bombs being planted, and Perfecto keeps it sharp. Navi sharper than yesterday. That much is for damn sure. And it's gonna be a tough T half for Big after the break.
All right, well, sat here with Katie, and obviously gonna just have a nice little chat. We're gonna talk all things heroic and Counter-Strike. Okay, one thing I wanted to get into and talk to you about, because I know we have so many new viewers in Counter-Strike these days. I don't think everyone's fully aware of the entire legend of Cadian or story of Cadian. Because I don't know, like part of me, when I was thinking about your career, thinking about like this conversation was, you know, if you were in a Hollywood movie, you'd be like the hermit in the desert of like some post-apocalyptic world. Like you just weren't, for whatever reason, able to establish yourself in like tier 1 Danish Counter-Strike in the early days of CSGO. And just over your career, just going through the team list, just you've had to play with like, you know, not the rejects, but like the unwanted, I guess, which isn't much better, I guess. You even were like outcast into like North America, like the true wasteland for a while. You did like a year over there. So I mean, let's just kind of talk about those kind of early stages, because I don't think people fully realize like the sort of redemption arc and journey that you had to go on to get back to this level. It's taken a long time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like I had a crazy uprise just when my career like started with the qualification for the very first major, then signed a contract with Mouse Sports. But the thing is, like for two of the first teams that I played on, like Mouse Sports and SK, I definitely also compromised a lot with like my role, right? I was always the IGL and the AWP. And in these two teams, like at Mouse, Chris J was the AWPer, and in SK, Freeze was the AWPer, right? And I thought to myself that I could easily play like a secondary AWP, and that my capabilities with the rifle would be good enough. I think nowadays I would definitely be able to do so in a much better way, but that's also because I'm way smarter at the game now than I was back
way
then.
more fleshed out as a player.
Yes. So like that definitely hurt like on the statistic base a bit, and you all know how it is, especially back then, like young IGL, maybe too much confidence, maybe didn't have the exact way of introducing his philosophies and stuff like this, and not playing his primary role, so his statistics were like 1 or 0.98 or whatever, then you just get cut. And especially when like you maybe also had some like attitude problems back in the early stages of your career, that kind of vibe, that kind of story that people are telling about you is just gonna hang on for a long time.
Faven.
Ja, down einer, das ist
einer
der
war noch
B-Spieler.
Mitte.
Das ist
Einer
der
war noch
B-Spieler.
Mitte.
A-Spieler
Alle
und
kleben
Mitte.
Seh nix selbst.
Clear Mitte und dann gehe ich wieder wo geht's
Okay, ich komm mit dir Mitte.
Dann, ja, mach
Ja,
mal
komm,
Platz
Mitte,
bitte.
Mitte.
Kari, flash mal über Window.
Warte, nein, den brauchst du nicht.
Mitte down.
Das ist der
Bombe.
Bombe.
Bombe da.
Ich jiggle A aus vom Base.
Ja, mach das.
Vielleicht kurz schon
Er ist
durch.
auf, er ist auf dem Boot.
Nice.
Nice.
Nische, du spielst so gut. Du carryst
Danke.
so. Und Josef, wunderbar, Junge.
Danke.
Weiter geht's.
Ich hab's weg.
I would love to play under Tabson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sign me up.
just such a wonderful guy.
Wunderbar.
I asked him one time, I was like, have you ever considered being more of an asshole? You know, because you're such like a strong player, but you're like also one of the nicest kind of like carries in the game or whatever. And IGL, and he's like, yeah, I have thought about it, but I can't do it.
Wholesome.
And this is a Navi that there's just no openings. I mean, simple, insane top tier performance. The whole team looked really good. They playing like yesterday never happened. It was, I don't know. I mean, Big played super well on CT yesterday. It was not even the same team basically, and I feel like it was more because of Navi than because of Big.
Open A site at the very least here for Big. So if they want something in the pistol,
All right.
yeah. What did Tabson do to deserve that? You know,
Nothing.
maybe he should. Maybe he needs to. take the gloves off, get a little dirty here in the server, because right now it's just Navi that's nasty. Big just can't keep up. 5 versus 3 for the CT retake. Again, just sharp, and it's every player. Perfecto in with another headshot. Tizian's gonna get this attempt going, but Perfecto, that is as clean as he needs to be. 3 USP taps. That is his 9th, 10th, and 11th. And the defuse for Electronic locks in 12 the way of Navi.
Yeah, they played for CT spawn right there, so when those 2 players were dead, it was pretty much over. With the bomb planted defaults, they had to get some kills, and the sharpness here was insane, and also another fortunate shot for Simple, but a beautiful one nonetheless. I mean, it was very few milliseconds to death for almost all of these peaks. Wow. Jesus. Sucks to have to lose your first match and play against Navi, that's for sure, but I think after yesterday, you'd keep hope alive, I think, you know. But Big don't regularly beat them, that's for sure.
Reality of the situation, too. Big had wonderful chances to win yesterday. Just no T-sides. No T-sides at all. So, let's see what they have to offer us here a bit. Inside of the site, loses Perfecto, so things get a little sketchy. Electronic tries to slide up, and Searson's Tech 9 hits the mark, but Simple's bailed him out of similar situations in the first half, and there's nothing stopping him from doing it yet again, except for Crimbo. Crimbo jumps up Van, knocks Simple down a peg. Here comes SDY, and he also gets caught by the same situation.
Nice.
So a Crimbo 2K after the Tech 9s prevail, after that chaos and carnage inside of the B site. Big, they may lose pistol, but they bounce right back.
Yeah, they do. And who cares if you lose a pistol, you win the second. That's great. Just the sheer number of rounds right now for Navi, that's a problem, but that's nice. And I guess, you know, you would put more work into the side that didn't work after a loss, and that's what we saw from Navi. Maybe we'll get the same from Big. And even though the T side looked bad yesterday on Big, that doesn't always happen. That was just yesterday. So we'll see if they sorted some stuff out. Keep that ferocity high. There was just one gun here for Navi on Simple. Probably one of the better players to have it on. Top 5. Do you have the bricks boost? Yeah.
Tizian, I respect that. Chases down SDY and commits to the spray. So he knew what he wanted, and he got what he wanted. All the while dodging that single M4 here, still boosted up and waiting for the potential for the mid play, but nah, this is an all-in from Big on the front side of the site. Smoke top con. Crimbo, he could get spammed if Simple's got it lined up, but no bullets ever come through. And this should be a shoe-in for Big. It's the last event we're going to see with a 25 bullet A1S.
Yes, but not the first event that we'll see a 20 bullet A1S.
Very fair. Just reverting it back a bit.
That is kind of cool. I mean, basically all the ancient changes on paper look awesome. I mean, the only problem I could see is that the map becomes slightly too T-sided, but I mean, I think if they had to do a lot to balance it out in the first place, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like when the time is right.
Were you also kind of, I very much expected and wanted ancient changes. I expected and wanted A1S changes. I didn't notice any reason to change the Inferno bomb explosion radius.
We are not in the stadium quite yet, but that's what it will feel like.
Yeah, and a little better. It'll sound better.
It'll even better, yeah. That's true. Yeah, that was random.
Yeah, the Inferno bomb thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so odd. They, Doja's nade every round now. Can't be saving in pit. Ooh. They get the CTs in the right spots to stop something. Now Simple boosted in a different direction. There's a little element of rinse and repeat from the last round, of course, with still no buys around this M4.
Ooh, nice shot.
Gets Simple dead. It exchanges hands. The 35 health of SDY now hanging on to the M4. He wants to save the Colt. He'll go running for the hills. Running for round 19 as Electronic could actually catch somebody off guard, but no real need to exit this way. That's not where the M4 went. This is Big with 7 off of the back of a force buy win.
Looking good. Saved a lot of money on both these rounds. They used a lot of their nades for the exec, but didn't lose any players, so very sound. This is the perfect foundation to try to perform a comeback on. And Navi are on 12. They're not exactly in critical territory yet. It's not like Big have to play absolutely perfect. They just have to play extremely well, and they definitely have shown they're capable of that on T-side Mirage in the past. We can say that much. So I'm sure they'll keep their wits about them. I mean, Tapson kept a very good attitude after a series that they could have absolutely won both maps in and lost both. Very tilting games. But, you know, as the IGL of the team, was able to contextualize the loss and say, listen, this was close. There were fine margins. It sucks, but they actually had a good result if you look at how many rounds they won in total. So there was that.
But here we get a test for Big. Guns come out for Navi.
And we'll see about Navi's version of aggressive mid-control with the underpass play.
Ooh. Simple gets caught by
He
Crimbo.
walked through the smoke.
Yeah, just comes right through it as if that thing didn't exist. Deep smoke down connector as well. Gives Searson a set of eyes over top, and Big gets hit down to 16. So this is going swimmingly, or so it was. Searson sinks. SDY torpedoing one off of the catwalk.
2 players bruised up, though, here from Navi in the 3-on-4.
Almost a position where you just kind of prime the save already, right? Spend this time, go carve out a little comfort zone towards B site. If Big happen to come your way, then fight for it. If not, let this one slide by. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So we're looking at a 4-round lead for Navi still. But damn, Crimbo walking through smoke to kill the GOAT.
Yeah, that was a nice confidence move from Crimbo. It's definitely the play that changes the round entirely. So bomb gets planted, looking for 8 rounds, and maybe hunting some exits. And they have a lot of time to do it safely, so they can, you know, potentially get kills, but obviously good spots here. Oh, Crimbo shoots first as well. Wow. That feels somehow even trickier.
Yeah, very tricky.
They're like, oh, he's just feigning aggression.
No, he's just telling you exactly what he's about to do.
Yeah.
And then does it. That was your warning.
Ooh, and majority deaths here. No, only 2 guns potentially saved. Still time to find some fights. Perfecto recedes bench side, and SDY, will he die? Peek and halls. Okay.
It's all good. So they hang on to 2, and Big the same boat. Only 2 kept at the end of that one.
Yeah, I think for the, you know, for Big right now. Okay, real match. Let's get it going. 4 rounds. Can disappear like that. Super solid establishing rifle round on top of clean anti-ecos. 3 rounds ending A now. And a second timeout called for Navi. I think this one probably has to do with money. I mean, they can, of course, look for some kind of idea on the eco. We saw the last time they had 1 gun to work with. Simple shot immediately as he got to window, and then immediately left and went around to cat and went for that boost. So you just want to leave a ghost of yourself for the other team to worry about while you reposition. But they avoided the rotation, hit A site. And, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, they've actually got a lot of money on Navi. So those 2 guns saved means they full buy with an op, and they did a lot of damage to Searson.
Damn, he's almost dead already, but 1 bullet from the big green, and he's done his job. Of course, Bit also relegated down to the Desert Eagle. Flashbang for him. Flashbang for Simple. That's the light util. Molly comes out towards top box, and Tabson just hopes to catch somebody going for a peek. He's not far off Electronic, but
Yeah.
no firefights just yet. We got a grouping of Big outside of the A site. Tizian decides to fall back through. He's going to go all the way with the team. So full evacuation of A, leaving Tabson as the
Solid.
midpoint.
I mean, they took some damage here, but look, they've got mid evacuated. They have SDY playing within smokes with Simple right behind him to protect him. So much emphasis on the 2B players. And it looks like they've second guessed it. Simple pulled back for a second, but with this last smoke, yeah, it's just going to be 2 here. So
2 here, and one of them is Bit, hiding in the corner with a Deeg.
right, yeah.
So it's really going to need to be Perfecto. He's still hanging on to that Incendiary. Down it goes. Ooh, cat kill comes in from Electronic. That's going to give him
Now
a
he
good
knows.
time to run over towards Market. He'll get there before the T's can get out. He goes straight towards back door. Now 2 rifles, so less emphasis on Perfecto. Bit maybe prime for that element of surprise. We're talking 10 seconds, and nothing comes through from Big. It is a total shutdown out of Navi.
God
That
damn.
kill towards Catwalk and that last Incendiary.
And the kill comes because there are some mid utility, but Perfecto spaces out his util perfectly. On B, he uses his smoke, then his molly, and Big are trying to play incredibly disciplined, and they have every right in the world to play it extremely quietly. They did the brunt of their work inside of mid. They had Searson peek on the A ramp. They caused some doubt as to where they could be for sure. He just went flying into the air. Okay. And then, but Electronic found that pick off, and at the 25-second mark, you see someone walking up Cat. That's not an A hit coming in. Very powerful one. Round 1 there from Navi, and I think star of the show was definitely Perfecto.
A very calm demeanor, just internal timing, spreads out the util. Wins the round off the back of it. Big will have to get a little crazier than that if they want to make this happen, but there's something crazy. Favin just walks out from Palace, pops the head of Simple. SDY offers us a kill back from Triple, but then Tizian comes through with 2. Bit drawn up Catwalk, trying to fight middle, goes for Connector instead. Tabson has him done, and Perfecto fired off. What goes around comes around. He's so alone. And Crimbo comes off the bomb plant. Hands still a bit busy. Perfecto smokes it off. How does he piece this one together? We've got Searson all the way up Catwalk. We've got Tabson still sitting bottom con. 2 of these 3 players tagged. But Perfecto, he's going to try for the wrap back around ticket.
Yeah, ironically, maybe one of the safest places to be is in CT in this position. Might have one player fighting towards him, but they're going to assume he escapes through the market or is chilling in the window.
Stark contrast this round.
This is good. I mean, the different modes of aggression from Big is awesome to see as well. I mean, that's something that we were missing a little bit on the T side yesterday as well, and they've changed it up. The power play from Crimbo and the underpass and that previous rifle round into the fast connector presence as well here. That's solid. And I mean,
Bobbin just
what a shot.
owns Simple.
What a shot. One thing we saw yesterday was SDY was doing great off of missiles in holding the site down by himself. Put up a number of CT kills. But right here, eats a flash, only gets 1. Had him right where they want him. 5-2 here in the second half. And yeah, making this game very real. Still have a great round 1 by Navi though.
Yes.
We'll say that.
Yes. Just kind of caught off by the A hit. Electronic. Back to the success for Navi, maybe.
Oh, they interrupted the tactic completely.
Yep. So, game of cat and mouse. Oof. And Simple back towards ticket as opposed to floating in the no man's land. Of course, Navi did such a fantastic job in the first half that this is a tough game for Big to play. 1 round win, 1 round loss, 4 in a row now, back and forth with guns. So even as we sit here and praise Big's, variation and aggression and different tempo, Navi have a solution 1 round after. They did it at B, now they've done it at A. They can sit back and wait as the final 50 seconds start to fizzle out. We get Big just sitting back in mid, sitting on their laurels. Tabson Gets bit at the very least, but with such a cost, he's on 40 health. The time's not there.
Yeah, they're not really working on anything. They're still very far back for the amount of control they need to get before they can feel comfortable executing. No one's
Bada boom.
on an aggressive lurk, and now that op might be unretrievable. They'll make it to be. It looks like they are going to try to go for this.
Ooh, Simple doesn't pull the trigger just yet.
Yeah, but he spotted them. Oh, he doesn't know if they've made noise. He comes out, he's dead.
Recovers.
And now, I mean, just it's time to turn back for tabseN. Leaves the money in an uncomfortable spot, but they have some left over. So actually,
this 3vx from Big, like, you know, sticking around and fighting, everybody is, but not really fighting for the round win. Oh!
It's like that, huh?
Oh, sorry. Did you want to save?
Damn. Was that after
today.
time? No, I don't think so. Yeah, so Miss Simple getting a kill over on A, making his way over to B.
Obi.
In a 14th, quite a quiet one. So the tactic gets shut down right here with the, wow. Nailed.
After time. It's like at the last second.
They mollied the window smoke, stopped the connector play, or the cat presence. That could have been Big just trying to get ladder room fast. It could have been them trying to turn to a B split, but they had one A ramp, so we're not exactly sure. But those losses were too much to sustain.
Into the A exec, Big will go. Molotov here to try to disrupt SDY. He just stays tucked. Simple already with one. Sumdai Young comes in with the wallbang frag to Faven. Simple gives good cover, and I love this duality between Simple and SDY, but tabseN, he's got something going only for a moment. Perfecto finds the spam through smoke, and we have csgo in a clutch. Now, he's got a bit of it in his blood, but we haven't seen much of it in this game. He tries to cross back. There's the first one, and at only a quarter of his own health, not too shabby. csgo looking for that second kill as we get that wrap back around from Bit. He has managed to reposition nicely. Second kill's in from csgo. He just needs to piece it together. Perfecto's to his left. Perfecto's going to peek right into this scope, and if csgo can just hit him with the gut punch, then that's all three. He knows. He tucks, he hides, he holds, he jiggles, and he's got it. The time is not enough. csgo with a clutch to give Big 10.
Oh, that's well done. And a nice final shot as well, just to take the last bit of money out of Navi. What a play, man. That was the hold was so solid overall. The cohesion between Simple Sumdai Young, as you pointed out, it's been more than a single occurrence in the couple of series we've seen so far. That was good, but yeah, leave it to this man to clutch. This tournament, man, csgo's been playing with confidence. He's had a couple of tournaments where it feels like in the big games, he's been important, but not hitting the shots that he needs to. And it feels different. It feels like he's in a different place right now. So good to see those kills not go to waste. Potential for another A approach. It's going to be even faster.
Trying to run it back. Flashes all over. Electronic, good challenge. Tizian puts ice on that one as quick as he can, but Simple, sure enough, looking to replace the dead body. Oh, gets called out by tabseN. Little gap. Sure enough, Sumdai Young. Headshot through the smoke. CZ of Bit could be easily replaced if he's just allowed a little more space out of the top of connector.
Smokes are going to come up in a second. Oh, they're gone.
Teaser stuck in. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. They sit on site, side by side, and look to maybe go deep. If they come around this corner, they could just win the duels, but Sumdai Young's been shooting sharp, and he's ready. They could line up. Sure enough, they just sweep away the final two for a 15th round to Navi.
Dude, he's looking good, man. Playing with a lot of confidence, but also as safe as he needs to be. In this spot, he's just spotting from Ticket. He's not playing within smokes, and does a great job of finding the small gaps that are there. And they've been getting so much efficacy out of the smoke spams on the cross. It's unfortunate for Big, but it is what's going to happen sometimes. Tried a lot of A execs. I think that's why they've fallen a little bit more out of favor, but well, Navi land on their feet. I think Big did put up a test for them here in the second half, but ultimately still 5 rounds ahead are Navi, and a very impressive map just by the quality of rounds 1.
Well, a couple missed shots, but Bit right there to recover. So unfortunately here for Big, they're just running out of steam. And this is Navi just full speed ahead. 16-10 to close out Mirage. A phenomenal T-side that put Big in such a position that a pistol could have made the difference. 4 rounds at the start of their own T-side to give us a little hope for the German camp's comeback, but nope. It is Navi on Mirage to kick off the BO3. And that means dust too soon from Big. Is that a map you think that maybe they recover?